Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another beautiful, wonderful, splendiferous edition of the SmashBros AMA, brought to you by the Daily Dot. I, of course, am your host, Ian Double John Barker. With me, as always, is Jacob Braille Wolf. Jacob, how are you doing this evening?
I'm doing okay.
Yeah.
Bit of a rough week, but I'm excited to be back on the show. We missed last week.
Did you get your parking sorted out?
I did get my parking.
You got your
sorted out.
That was the key. We had a bit of a parking incident before, but it is all taken care of. Speaking of getting things taken care of, one man that is taking care of business is our guest, Joey Lucky Aldama, one of the finest smashers from Norwalk, California. Of course, the better-looking half of the Mango Lucky duo. No question, one of the better Fox players out there, and an individual who's seen a great deal of success in his time, and he's done it all with an amiable personality and a great smile on his face. Joey, how are you doing this evening?
Hey guys, I'm doing pretty good.
Excellent.
Very, very nice compliments. I'll say that much.
I've already seen your cat on camera 5 or 6 times now. Can you just put him? Let's just put him in the frame. People on the internet love cats. You know what? Let's just make this a thing. Let's just get him on there.
Spoiled
There
baby
he is.
girl.
Oh my god!
It's a kitty.
Oh my god! I want to hug it. What is his or her name?
Her name is actually Missy.
Missy. Oh.
She'll be jumping on my lap and on the chair and getting in the camera as much as possible.
As friendly cats often do. Well, folks, if you're not familiar with the format, this is the SmashBros AMA. Every week we submit a new guest, one of the finest individuals from the world of Super Smash Brothers. You ask your favorite questions, vote on them in the thread, downvote your least favorite ones, and at the end of the week, or roughly Wednesday or Thursday, whenever we can get somebody on the show, we take the shows and we ask them live on air, and you're going to see the results right here. Joey, are you ready for our first question?
Yeah, absolutely.
Excellent. Well, let's go ahead and kick things off as soon as my computer decides to stop lagging with our top voted question. This one was from LolCeo. LolCeo wants to know, you're known as the best unsponsored player. You said you have turned down many offers. If given the chance, which organization would you like to be sponsored by?
I've actually been asked this a lot lately, and every time I always say the same answer. It's just 110% EG, Evil Geniuses.
Really? That is like like immediately in my head I went CLG, TSM,
Cloud9.
Cloud9, that's another big one. Okay, so then the obvious follow-up question, why Evil Geniuses?
Before Smash got into the esports scene, it was kind of in this dark place where, especially for Melee, it wasn't as popular. It was starting to die down around the time that Brawl came out. And, I quit going to tournaments. I started working, full-time job. And since, Smash was sort of dying out, I started leaning towards other games for, just as a pastime. And Street Fighter 4 was just coming out around that time. And I fell in love with the game. I fell in love with the players, Justin Wong, PR Balrog, Ricky Ortiz, some of my favorite players of all time, all went to this same team, Evil Geniuses. And naturally, I just followed the team and followed them as players, and I have just been a long-time fan. So once EG jumped into the Smash scene and sponsored Dr. PP, it was like a dream come true. It was like, dude, a Smash player is on EG. It was like crazy. I never really thought I'd be in a spot that maybe I could try joining the team. And lately, I feel like I've been getting better and better, so I'm kind of having my fingers crossed something could happen, rather soon, hopefully.
Awesome.
But that's pretty much the reason why I love that team so much.
So one thing in terms of the discussion with sponsors, what is the ideal sponsor for you in terms of monetary means and traveling and that kind of stuff? What is the pitch that you would have to hear?
It's hard to say. I've been offered a lot of deals around like $300 to $400 a month or so, and it's like, as far as I understand, that's kind of the average for a smasher. Then I hear countless other people that are in the industry of esports saying that players just don't know their worth and they're selling themselves too low. So I'm kind of like at a loss at knowing what I should go for, what I shouldn't go for. So it's why I've been kind of hesitant on signing with the team. And not to mention, just a lot of teams tend to come to me wanting to hear what I want as opposed to offering deals. And then when they hear what I'm looking for, they tend to like not be so interested because I don't think they know exactly what the Smash community is looking for. Or where
Damn
the
it!
Smash community
I
is going
thought
as
Smash
well.
players were cheap. They're supposed
Yeah,
to be
exactly.
cheaper.
Free advertising. damn it.
Exactly.
I mean, like I wouldn't say I need a lot. I'm doing completely fine just off winning tournaments every other week, and so like that's pretty much how I'm paying my bills, just winning tournaments. So if I were to look at like a sponsorship, it'd be just a small salary to help me not worry so much about winning the tournaments, and that way I could focus more on just competing to win for the sake of winning. I can't say how much, but it's just a small salary, some help with travel to like the bigger nationals, since I end up making it to a lot of tournaments anyways.
Mm-hmm.
So not very much, to say the least.
He's not asking for much. Look at that. I
Yeah.
mean, come on. Why
All
not?
I want is an EG T-shirt, man. That's all I want.
Absolutely. The interesting thing to me about that actually is that EG has seemed to, or does seem to possess a certain culture. We see a lot of esports teams out there that have created a great stable of players. Maybe some of them talk to each other. Maybe some of them don't. Does it feel like EG's culture, that sort of community of EG fighters, is that something that's real, that exists behind the scenes?
I would say so, especially with Street Fighter being more of like a grassroots type of esports, fighting game community, all that stuff. It's very similar to Smash in the sense that they came from nothing and built themselves up over time. And when you start out in a community that's as small as Street Fighter was and Smash was, you get to know all of the top players and you become friends with all the top players. So when I see the EG fighting game community team, I've gone to multiple tournaments where there is a Street Fighter tournament held as well, and I see all those guys just hanging out with each other. Obviously, very good friends. At the bar after and stuff like that, at dinner, like I'll just run into them, and it's pretty cool to see them all be very good friends with each other, as well as being teammates and stuff like that.
Unfortunately, you don't play Rufus, so you can't continue that trend. But,
I do play Rufus.
You do play?
Oh.
Oh my God!
He's got
do
it
play
all.
Rufus.
Okay, AJ, are you watching this? AJ, we've had AJ on the show before. If AJ is watching, this is the clarion call. My question for you is this: the journalist in me wants to know. Is this something that could happen? I won't tell anyone. You can tell me.
From what I have been told, it's very, very unlikely.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
I'm going to keep my fingers crossed,
Well, fortunately, you're known for being lucky.
Haha.
I did it. I did it, guys.
Unfortunately.
I did it. That's the one. That's the only joke I'll make about that all night. I promise.
I don't believe you, but we'll see.
Smart guy. Well, moving on to our next question. Rash Attack actually wants to know if I can get my questions to cooperate. Here we go. Rash Attack wants to know. We're hitting the hard hitting ones. Lucky, how drunk were you actually when you competed at Heir to the Throne? P.S. Come back to the UK. We loved having you here.
I wasn't that drunk, man. I'm a rather big guy. I do drink rather frequently, so my tolerance is pretty high. Not to mention, in the UK, serving sizes are slightly smaller. So I was a couple beers deep. I had like a nice little buzz going on. I was just relaxed, having fun, being in another country and all. It was just a great experience that it's not like I didn't try. I tried my absolute best. I consider myself one of the best players in the world at playing while drinking a couple beers. I handled myself well, so I wasn't drunk by any means.
Does Melee Army do rankings for and Melee Army has its power rankings and then power rankings with a couple beers. I think
I'd be top 3, I'll tell you that much.
And interestingly enough, at Heir to the Throne, you lost, I believe it was 6-2 to Armada to take second. And I want to, all joking aside about having a couple beers and playing Smash, do you feel like being a little bit relaxed, being a little bit loose, do you think that helped you in that environment? I mean, is that something that legitimately helped you?
No, I don't think so. Maybe if I had a couple more beers. Like I said, my tolerance is pretty high. Yeah, I wouldn't say it affected my play at all in any way, good or bad.
Well, this is not the .esports show endorsing the idea of going out and playing drunk. But if you do, we obviously can't stop you.
Yeah, obviously. And I was lucky enough for the tournament to have a bar in it. So, I mean, I had to take advantage of it. There was no reason for me not to.
That's like when you go to like a concert or like a tournament and there's a bar there. I mean, you're there. You're 21. Why not, right?
Yeah, exactly.
The hotels
Beautiful.
that have tournaments, you just like stop by the store that's like at the front of the hotel and just grab a couple and go.
You have like 20 of those like tiny little like Jack Daniels bottles, tiny little.
Oh my god, yeah.
They don't get the job done. They don't just do it. Anyway, we esports. So let's wrap up that topic real quick. Next question coming at you. Dr. McBob wants to know. I've heard that you are also passionate about beers. I promise this is the last alcohol-related question. What's your favorite brew, and what do you drink after a good tournament?
I actually am a very, very big fan of craft beers, so I enjoy drinking the finer stuff in life. So whenever someone asks me what my favorite beer is, it's almost impossible. I've tried over 700 to 800 different beers.
Holy cow!
Yeah, it's a very, very fun and expensive hobby.
He's a beer enthusiast, man. Like,
It's funny because I did the same thing when I was in college. I lived at my fraternity over the summer, and I just turned 21, and it was a long summer, and I had some disposable income, so I thought I'd try Hoegaarden, and it's certainly not like an incredible beer or anything, but it's like the beer. I felt like it was the beer where when you're done drinking, like the light beers, like the American beers, you try that, and you're like, oh, there's more to life than this, and
Yeah.
I'll say that you probably tried this one. My personal favorite, Rochefort Trappist 10.
Yeah.
If anybody else out there knows what I'm talking about, give us a shout at .esports. I could talk beer for a long time, but obviously we're here to talk Smash.
apparently not, according to the Reddit question.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Reddit says what we want to talk about. Apparently
Reddit's-
alcohol is the order of the day.
Before we do go to the next question, like one beer that definitely stands out for me is a bourbon barrel aged stout made by Avery Brewing Company out of Colorado, I think it is. It's called Uncle Jacob's. It's a stout aged in bourbon barrels for like 6 to 12 months or something like that. It goes from like 15 to 19% depending on the year. So that beer is one of my all-time favorites.
Hey, have you ever had Goose Island Bourbon County Stout?
Yeah, of course.
That was one of my favorites. Although I feel like once they were bought by InBev, they stopped making it, which was unfortunate. Anyway, we could go down the beer rabbit hole for a long time, for a very long. We'll have to have a separate AMA for that.
We will do it.
Absolutely.
Beer reviews by Lucky.
Thank you, Lucky, for making production promises on behalf of esports. Moving on to our next question. Josh Monty 14 wants to know, Lucky, you've mentioned that you want to be the best PM player in the world. Now, we can only say PM so many times before Twitch takes the stream down, so be careful. What steps are you taking to secure the title? Who are the people to beat?
Earlier in the year, I want to say it was like a side goal of mine, as apart from trying to improve myself in Melee. And I was playing it a lot, man. I was grinding out during the weeks. I was going to locals all the time. And I learned so many of the matchups in that game so quickly. And I think at a certain point, I was considered maybe like top 5, top 3 in the world for the game, alongside people like Professor Pro and Junebug. And then Evo came. And once Evo came, I realized I still had a long way to go in Melee before I could fully focus myself or fully devote myself to another game. Which PM, as similar as it is to Melee, it's a very different game with very different mechanics added to it and plenty of different matchups. So after, or a little bit before Evo, I almost stopped entirely playing PM, and I haven't played it as much. Now that the game is, kind of done for in terms of updates, maybe I will focus a little more on it starting sometime next year, or this year, I should say, 2016. But I can't really say for certain or make any promises on how soon it'll be before I fully try to, become the world's best in that game again.
So overall, how do you think, in your opinion, how do Melee skills transfer over to PM, just in general?
It transfers over amazingly. Any Melee player, if they have the patience and the willing to learn a few new mechanics as well as relearn an entire cast of matchups, they're gonna do completely fine. It's all about the patience and just willing to understand it is a different game. It's not just Melee 2. It's got a lot of Melee's mechanics, which means you're going to be a fantastic player right off the bat if you know how to play Melee. But you have to be willing to accept that it's a new game. Or a different game.
Sort of like Rivals of Aether is obviously, even though there's percentages and there's there's combos and there's aerials and things like that, it's obviously not the same game.
Exactly. So like I said, fundamentals transfer over well, but it's still different no matter how you look at it.
Who is your main character in PM? Unfortunately, that escaped my research before the show.
Oh, it was definitely Fox. I was trying to pick up Wolf, and it was going fantastic. I want to say I was beating most of the ranks players in Southern California with Wolf, and then, like I said, I stopped playing entirely, and then once I came back to Wolf, everyone just kind of bopped my Wolf, so I kind of gave up on him.
And it's funny that you bring up the fact that you're a Fox player, because our next AMA question is actually, how do you sleep at night? It's a real one. It's not real.
Okay.
The Batman never sleeps, dude.
Fair point.
No.
The Batman does not sleep. Kicking on to our next question. DAI 3003 wants to know, Lucky, as one of the last top Melee players to still play PM, together with Westballs, what advice do you have for PM players and tournament organizers? Do you think there will ever be a place for PM again in mainstream tournaments? And can I just say before you answer that, it feels like every time we get a question for that, I imagine a single tear rolling down the question asker's cheek, and I feel so bad because it's such a great game and it's in such a difficult place right now. But go ahead with your response.
It's honestly hard to say, man. I feel like they're exactly where Melee was when Brawl was coming out. And, Melee was just dying out. All the players were going over to Brawl. Everyone was just trying to play the new thing. The bigger, I guess you could say the bigger thing, the better thing, which everyone thought was at the time Brawl. Unfortunately, Melee is now just taking the spotlight. Smash 4 is receiving a great response from the community. It's its own community now. I think Smash 4 is well on its way to being, a major esport along with Melee. And it's just... PM's just kind of in the shadow, man. There's not much the community can do about it other than just love the game, play the game, and attend tournaments, go to as many tournaments as you can to support the game. That's all you can do is support the game itself by just playing it and hope for the best. There's no real answer or real solution to getting PM into like a bigger mainstream esport, type of thing. You just got to play the game and love it and hope for the best over time.
It's too bad. Brawl obviously got off to a great start, but tripped at the first hurdle.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Great face, no space. I heard you mention Smash 4. Have you taken a crack at Smash 4 since it came out? I'm assuming you played it at least a little bit. Yeah.
I played it I played it on 3DS a little bit when it was originally on 3DS. Other than that, not very much at all. I played maybe like 1-2 hour session with Mango when it first came out on Wii U, and we actually streamed that as well. I wish we uploaded that to YouTube or something because it was so funny. We were so bad. We have so many habits of just wanting to L cancel everything, wanting to approach with aerials, wanting to wave dash, and like we. It's just not in our blood to play that game, unfortunately. I won't say it's a bad game, but it just does not go with my fingers. My fingers won't allow me to play it.
Something in the Norwalk water, I tell you. No, I remember when I was in Dallas for the Archon Team League Championship. It was a Hearthstone tournament a few months ago. I got my first chance to play it, and being someone who played Melee almost exclusively, I grabbed the controller. I got super excited to body some noobs, and it just felt like I was tripping over my feet the whole time. It's just, I feel a lot more confident in it now, but it is incredible how night and day the two games really are.
It's almost crazy, man.
It most certainly is. Moving on to our next question, the elephant, not the elephant in the room, but the topic on everybody's minds with Melee and Onme's rankings coming out. Drakester234 wants to know, hey, Lucky, how do you feel about your MIOM ranking?
Oh, I don't mind it. I've been saying for a while, I don't believe that I am top 10 yet. I think there's a difference between a player's peak and a player's potential as opposed to what the player actually does in tournament. I definitely believe my potential is just below the gods. I think I'm right there as the seventh player. In my own opinion, I think I can beat anyone that's not a god, no problem. It was if I play my best. Unfortunately, that does not always happen in tournament, and that's why I don't think I am top 10 yet, because my results prove that I'm top 15 for now. So me being 12 isn't really that big of a surprise. I am somewhat surprised with Silent Wolf being above me, considering how little he went to. But even then, I think we're all so close as players from like 7 to 15, or probably 9 to 15, that it doesn't even matter like who's above who at that point.
So if you were the Batman, who are your villains to beat in 2016?
I think
associate them. So like Joker, Riddler.
Oh, I like it. Yeah. You have to name them as Batman villains. Go.
I don't even know how I would do that. First, I would answer in the way that I want to answer, which would be the better response is not who I want to beat. The fact is, I don't want to lose to anyone that's not a god in the year 2016. That's my goal, to try and every tournament, no matter what set it is, what match, just do not lose to anyone who's not a god. As far as connecting them to villains, no, that's way too hard.
Hungrybox came on this show and wrote an entire Hunger Games movie with the cast of the gods. All right, so he set the bar pretty high.
It's like
for the SmashBros AMA.
It's like Mango is Dick Grayson, and he's originally Robin, and then he turns into the Arkham Knight, and they're they're the odds. You're bros, and then you're not bros. Like.
But see, like I want to not lose to these guys, and it's so annoying because Batman doesn't listen to them either. But I like those characters. I like those bad guys. These guys I want to just like destroy. So I don't want to associate them with those cool villains that I like so much.
Now I just want to see a meme with Lef and his Catwoman.
Oh God!
Or maybe I don't. Stop it. Put Photoshop away. Stop it right now.
Armada is the Joker.
Armada. I don't even know.
PPMD is the Riddler.
I could see Mango being the Joker.
Mango
has the White. I think obviously has to be the Joker.
I think PPMD has to be the Riddler because he's just like really smart and like it just makes sense.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely. And he bears a striking resemblance to Jim Carrey. I totally see it. Moving on to our next question. Jugsy wants to know, why does Dunk suck? What other games does Dunk suck at? What is Dunk's favorite thing to suck? Your response.
Why does Dunk suck so much at Smash?
Yes, I believe so.
He's one of the most stubborn people I've ever met in my life. He lives with Mango, one of the best players of all time to ever touch the game, to ever grace his presence in the community, and he will tell Dunk, you were doing this wrong. Like just for instance, any random thing, like don't attack here, and Dunk will be like, "What? Why? I can do this. I can do this. No, I should just do it. It'll work. Why doesn't it work? No, it should work." And it's like, dude, no, don't do it. And he's just like, yeah, but I could just do this. And it's like, he just will not listen to us or accept our advice. And like, then he'll be like, oh yeah, you're right. And then tomorrow he'll be doing the same thing. He's like, no, I really think it should work, and he just won't listen to us. And if anything, that's why he is not as good as he could be or should be. I won't say he sucks, but he could be way better if he just listened to us.
Well, the second part of that question was, what other games does Dunk suck at?
Poor guy.
League of Legends.
Don't
I
we
consider
all?
myself an awful League of Legends player. And yeah, we all are pretty bad.
What
But I think
position do you play?
Top mostly.
Really? And follow-up question, why don't you play Dota instead?
Okay, so people have asked me this, and I love this answer. It's like when people would play Brawl, and they would suck at Brawl, and it's like, well, why don't you just play Melee? And it's like, well, if you're gonna suck at the worst game, why should you be trying the harder game? Like, wait till you get better at the shitty game, not the shitty game, but the easier game, before you go to the harder game. So until I get at least decent at League of Legends, I'm not gonna even try Dota.
We got it on tape, baby. We got it on tape.
I'm happy.
Thank you.
I'm a League of Legends reporter, and I'm happy with that answer. Like, I agree with you.
Okay. Dude,
Don't let anybody hear you say that. Don't let anybody hear you say that.
My readers would be depressed.
Very depressed. As if they aren't already. Bazinga! Anyway, our next question coming at you. Fat Chow? Fat Chow? FAC how?
Facho.
Facho, is that it?
I
I
don't
thought
know.
it means like because we had FAC in college and it was Friday after class. Maybe they just don't know how to go to Friday after class. So FAC How wants to know best moment where luck was not a big factor for you. Could be Smash related or not.
Best moment where luck was not a factor.
Mm-hmm.
Probably when I first tried Uncle Jacob's. I'll never forget the day I drank that beer, man. It was life changing.
It's like getting top 2 at Evo, man. It's like getting top. See, now if it's that good, I'm really gonna give.
I'll tell you a little quick side story.
Let's hear it.
The Samox, the producer of the Smash documentary, is filming and recording stuff for the second part of the documentary with Armada. He came over to Norwalk a couple months back and was recording stuff, interviewing us. And we actually took him to a beer festival that was obviously my idea. I wanted to go, and I got all my friends to go. And they had that beer there. And so I got that beer, and everyone got it because I wouldn't shut up about it. And he interviewed me while I was drinking it, and he's like, dude, so what does this taste like? And I was like, dude, it was right after, the Big House 4 stuff. So I was like, it tastes exactly like making top 8 at Big House 4. So hopefully that makes it into the next documentary.
It's actually funny that you mentioned that. I was actually a reporter on the ground in Romulus when it was actually my first live reporting gig at Big House 4, and I got to watch that happen, and it was incredible. I think one of the most biggest takeaways I took from that was how much everybody was cheering for you. It was one of those things that being new at Melee, I didn't fully understand. Where does that come from? Is it just because you're such a friendly guy? Because you're sort of an underdog story sometimes? What is it that propels your popularity?
I think there's a lot of factors. I thought about it myself multiple times. Being Mango's teammate, Mango's friend, you get overshadowed by Mango very easily. His presence, his personality, his playstyle, everything's very overpowering. So I've kind of been left in the shadow for a long time, and that was one of my breakout performances. Like when the tournament scene is as small as I said it was earlier, you generally get to play everyone a lot outside of tournament. So I think a lot of people knew how good I actually was. I just never really got to show it off in tournament. I was always, kind of getting rocked by nerves, by, my own just mental block. And that tournament was one of the first times where I truly just showed what I could do as a top player. No one, maybe the people on the West Coast knew how good I was, but East Coast, Midwest, other countries probably did not know how good I actually could play until that day. And I think that's just what kind of took that entire room by storm, and everyone just was so in shock that I kind of came out of nowhere, guns a-blazing. So that's what I want to say. It is a good mix of Mango just kind of being the better player in Norwalk, not letting me show what I could do, and just my Fox style, if you will, a little different from most Foxes.
I'd love to see a SoCal Melee like wrestling fanfic, and like you turn heel on Mango, and like it's like let's go.
Yeah.
It's actually funny because the follow-up question right after that, the Jerks Is Us actually wanted to ask, how has your relationship with Mango affected your Smash career?
Oh, it's been a weird one, man. Like when we were kids, my relationship with Mango is probably the only reason I jumped into the scene as hard as I did. We were just so competitive with each other, and everything we did, we always wanted to be better than each other. And I think that's just the main reason why I even wanted to compete. It was just to get to a place where I could just say I'm better than you. And unfortunately, he just took the tournament scene by storm and became way better than me. So it was just probably a good thing and a bad thing. Good mostly because I stopped caring so much about getting better than him as opposed to just getting better myself, the better that he got. And bad in the sense that I think if he hadn't been around and he hadn't, gotten as good as he gotten, I don't know what would have maybe motivated me. I might have found a motivation in a different way where I just wanted to be better for myself as opposed to being happy about him being good and just getting as good as I could maybe get as opposed to wanting to get there, needing to get there,
With both of your careers sort of, not sort of blossoming, obviously,
Definitely blossoming.
coming to full fruition. Have you found that maybe Mango's become more of a resource than a roadblock? Is he out there in Norwalk helping you? Have you guys found a way to sort of parlay the friendship of two of the best smashers in the world into a relationship of mutual benefit?
No, I wouldn't say so. It's really weird when you look at our train type of routine as opposed to other players. Even in Southern California, compared to us, let alone the rest of the world, we are all really good friends. When you look at the Norwalk crew, me, Mango, Alex 19, S2J, and playing Smash has almost always been a reason just to hang out with each other. It's like, all right, we got to train, and we get there and we just have a couple beers, and it's like we are trying to train, but more than anything, we're happy to hang out with each other and just chill together. So even when me and Mango do try to train and try to get each other better, it's always 50% just to hang out. So it's never been like all business. Like, let's just grind this out and try to make each other better. Like, no matter what, I don't know. I would say it helps, but it's not like a complete resource thing. It's always going to be more of like a friendship as opposed to a roadblock or a resource these days.
Weston asked in chat, Westballs, he says, what are you going to do differently this year to beat him?
I'm just going to be slightly less nervous since I'm probably a better player overall.
Oh, there we go. That's what the people came to see. There we go. So continuing the Mango train, I apologize for this, but the Friendly Fire wants to know, what are the ups and downs of having Mango as a doubles partner? Because obviously you've talked about how you two have had your back and forth, but you've also worked together. What are the benefits and downfalls of that partnership?
Benefits, obviously, he's probably one of the best teams players I've ever seen, alongside with people like Armada. He has an amazing awareness, like, throughout the match for teams. He's willing to look at the entire screen, every single player, as opposed to just himself, like other players. So when you have him on your team, it's always very comforting. He's always going to be willing to like send the opponent to you to like increase the combo damage. Always going to be willing to just disregard his edge guard just to come save you if you're getting edge guarded. Stuff like that is really, really good when teaming with Mango. The downs is he tends to not care as much these days as opposed to singles. So he'll just go out and have fun the night before, knowing that teams is early in the morning, and then want to sleep in and not want to even compete and tell you, Joey, man, I'm really tired. Who cares about teams, dude? So it's a double-edged sword, man.
The old goat.
A bit of a delayed response, and at the risk of turning this show into Jerry Springer, Westfall's response to your comment by saying, and yet you get owned all year.
And I didn't know I beat him all year because of nerves.
That's all I can do about it, man. Nerves suck, dude. That's why we're going to try and get rid of him on 2016.
There you have it. Next question comes from, I'm sorry, I'm actually struggling because I don't know how on earth to pronounce this.
Pukiogashi?
Pukiogashi asks, what are you trying to improve on the most right now?
Nerves. No, but
there we go.
Segues are making
realistically,
themselves.
Yep.
yeah. It's really funny since I'm, considered one of the better players in the world, top 15 easy, that I know so little about the technical aspects of the game. And I've been learning a lot about little minor things that have been just really, really helping me. And I've noticed how much they've affected my performance over the last couple of years. One in particular just being backwards dashing out of a grab animation, and just backwards dashing in general. For years, I've gotten stuck in my backwards dash, and I had no idea why. Just recently, I think back in August, someone told me the reason that happens is because I'm not fully smashing a stick, I'm just tapping it or something like that. And it's really funny that something so minor, like I said, as me as someone who's regarded as a top 15 player in the world, didn't know about something so little. So that I've actually been working on like crazy recently, just making sure I can backdash out of a grab no matter what.
Okay, I hate to quickly change the subject but this rap feud seems to have taken on a life of its own. My Wandicle wants to know, can you money match Westball's Falcon at an event sometime in the future? And the chat wants it to be Genesis 3.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind at all.
Yes.
Wait, is that an exclusive? Did we just get it exclusive on the air? Can we announce that?
I mean, I know he's down to do it. I wouldn't mind either. If he's at all as good at Falcon as he thinks he is, he should know that the matchup is super dumb. So it's like if you can decently move and tech chase, you can beat any Falcon in the world. Like that's why I tried Falcon Ditto and S2J at one time, I think last year, and I even beat him in one set in tournament because it's just the matchup's so silly.
This will be the true Superman versus Batman at Genesis 3. It's the preview trailer for the movie.
And unfortunately, the problem with money matches these days is now thanks to Leffen and SFAT. If you're not putting a K on it, like.
Yeah, dude, seriously.
We're looking at money match inflation.
It's insane. I can't even believe that.
Rent will be lost and people will be
$1,000
evicted
right out
at
the
Salty
pocket.
Sweets tournaments in the future. Speaking of people who have a target on their back, Gravy Seal wants to know, who's the next god you're going to take out?
The next god I'm going to take out. I don't know. I'm always having a good time when I take out H-Box, but I guess I should try to beat a different one.
PP?
I think PP I feel like wouldn't be as accomplishing just because he hasn't been playing as much lately. It feels almost just wrong. Like not to say that he's, worse or anything, he's just not in his prime. And it's very clear that he's not, and it's not his fault at all, with health issues and stuff like that affecting his play. So I'd rather not beat PP and have it just be said that, oh, he just lost because, he's not in prime state, which is most likely 100% true. I'd rather beat him next year, 2017, when he's helped play a lot better.
Yeah, nobody's going to get mad at Russell Wilson.
His health, obviously not his.
Yeah, nobody's going to get mad at Russell Wilson for tearing his ACL and being a little rusty when he comes back. Yeah, no question to that.
Yeah, if I were to beat a god, I definitely want to beat Mewtwo King. I haven't beat Mewtwo King like over 5 years, I think. So I think it'd be really fun to beat him again.
Fun because he get really salty.
You should get yourself one of the God posters. I have one at home. One of the God posters from Smash GG, and just mark their cross off their heads with a Sharpie as you beat
like
them.
a Death Note notebook. Yeah, and you're next. It's worth a shot. We cannot go anime. I can't keep up. Cannot keep up all these children's animes. Air Pirate 545 wants to know, who do you hate losing to more than anyone? Do you think we'll see Mango? Okay, these are two separate questions. Let's go with the who do you hate losing to the most?
Who do I hate losing to? Probably Mac T.
Why is that?
I just cannot stand losing to him because I've gotten a lot more respect for him as a player recently, but for years now I've lost random sets to him just randomly, or even just random matches, and I just get so infuriated by his style of play.
Question: did he down smash?
Every single time I touch it, down smashed, and it's just infuriated me. It's like, how are you beating me? I don't understand what's happening. Thank God I've actually worked on the matchup and I understand it a lot better, but for years it was infuriating.
At least Armada stopped playing it as much, so maybe now Fox versus Fox Ditto instead of Peach all over the place.
It's like Michael Vick when he was so good at running that he sort of just abandoned the quarterback game. He's just so good at the one thing that he's just like, I'll do that, man. It's working for me.
Tuck the ball and go.
Yeah, just go, man. And then something happened to him. I don't remember what.
Something about dogs?
No.
I will say I hate Michael Vick though.
I don't think you're alone in that opinion. I don't think.
No, but probably for a very different reason. Me and Mango used to play this game, NFL Street 2.
Oh, no.
Oh yes, I remember that
kids.
game.
We had a friend who loved the Falcons, and he played Michael Vick, and he never I mean, never, not once, passed it. Just always ran because,
Just like the real Michael Vick.
dude, he was literally broken. He just was the most broken character or player in the game. Like, it was so silly.
God,
I did the same thing. I played NBA Ballers for a while because I was super into like the
That was a good
street
game,
version
too.
of pro sports. And
Yeah.
Dirk Nowitzki was like the one guy in the game who could actually hit a three, and everybody else you had to like use your power moves to get into the basket and make a layup. And I just pull a three every time. And obviously, exchanging threes for twos is a pretty good trade.
I'm originally from Atlanta, and I am a Falcons fan. So I remember like sitting in a Ruby Tuesdays with my family, and I saw the Michael Vick news on the television like the first time that it got broken, and I was just kind of like rotated a little. Like, oh.
Little did you know that Atlanta would never be good again.
Hey, we were okay at the beginning of this season, but apparently,
Unfortunately, it's the end
hopes
of the
and dreams
season
are
that matters
crushed by the
most.
Panthers, man.
They most certainly are. Cam Newton and his son Chosen really taking names these days. Moving on to the next question. Maffer wants to know, is there any matchup, character, or player that your Batman is better than your Fox at? Also, $50 Mario Strikers money match me right now.
No. But I think for a certain point of time, I was enjoying Falcon versus Samus way more than Fox versus Samus. I have like a hit list of Samus players that I've taken out with my Falcon. So
Is Plup on that
Plup.
list?
Duck.
unfortunately, I only played Plup in like 2 friendlies with my Falcon. And he just happened to be over in Norwalk, and the rest of the night he did not play Samus against my Falcon. He kept going Fox. And his Fox was bodying my Falcon. But those 2 Samus matches,
But those are the ones that count.
they did not beat my Falcon.
It's got to be a little annoying to be so good at a matchup against a character that nobody's. It's like, like Boy My Ice Climber's really Rex Kirby, right, guys?
You just got to
yeah.
show
Take
up.
that to the bank.
You just got to show up at a tournament where Esam's there, Duck, Plup, like all the Samus players,
And
just
they all
chilling out.
managed to get like top 8 at the same time.
Yeah, you just once again taking a Sharpie.
And then once hell's frozen, you could store your beer there. Moving on. I'm sorry. No offense, Sam. We all know you're better at Project M. All right. I'm sorry.
Smash
Smash
4.
4. Yeah. Microwavable Socks wants to know. To second with on the vein of Captain Falcon. Microwavable Socks wants to know. Lucky, when are you owing to solo main Captain Falcon? You can blame our technical director for that typo.
Boing.
Going.
Oink.
Going.
Solo main, man, I don't know. When esports starts paying me like $2,000 a month so I don't have to win tournaments. Because I don't think I'm going to be winning very many tournaments going all Falcon.
What is it? What would need? Okay, this is a question that seems to appear in AMAs a lot, so I'm going to pop it here. If you could give a nerf, a buff to Captain Falcon to put him on the same level as the Falcos and the Foxes and the Ice Climbers, what would you do to Captain Falcon to put him at that level so you could start winning tournaments with him?
If his up throw was Fox's up throw and he had Fox's up B, then he'd be broken.
And he wore a white jacket and a headset and also had Firefox as his up.
Dude,
I see what you did there.
if he had Fox's up throw, that means he would just up throw knee like everything. It'd be crazy.
Oh, that'd be like the up throw rest, and then people would have to start hating.
Oh god.
hating
Yeah.
Captain Falcon.
It'd be amazing. And then Fox's up B, like Falcon would be broken. Someone should make that happen. I know there's some modders out there.
Well, thanks to the magic of Project M, that's a
The new
possibility.
20XX. These are the changes.
yeah.
Moving on to John R754 wants to know, for how much longer do you think you'll be playing Melee?
That's a good question. I honestly can't say, man. As long as I can make a living off of it, which is not like I'm making a great living, but I'm still surviving and doing well. I have fun still. I have plenty of time to go out, have fun with friends, and that's off of money from playing Smash, after I pay the bills and stuff. So as long as I can still do that, and if I get sponsored, it's probably going to get even better. I'm going to keep playing. I mean, I love the game no matter what, so I'll always play it for fun. But as long as I can pay the bills and more with Smash, I'm going to keep playing it competitively.
And there's no question that having the disposable income to keep a craft beer hobby alive is no insignificant task.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
So I haven't been drinking anywhere near as much in the year of 2015 as I did 2013, 14.
Do you have like one? I've always been curious. Do you have like one shop that's like your go-to that has like everything, or do you find
Yeah, of
yourself?
course.
Of course. Okay, yeah. Because when I lived in Iowa, we had really restrictive laws about like importing beers into that state, and so I had to go to like a shop in like Iowa City, which was like 2 hours away, and then I had to go to Minnesota and Chicago just to get these beers. That gets expensive.
Yeah, I can't imagine.
I can tell you what.
Luckily, you're no longer there.
Fortunately, I'm no longer in Iowa. But I like
There's this shop out in Whittier, California called Liquor Mart Whittier, and I love that shop from the bottom of my heart. I actually worked there for about a year and a half, and I was like following them on Instagram. I was like, always being annoying, calling, trying to get the beers, because they would get like one case of a certain limited rare beer, and it's like first come first serve. So I'd call them instantly. I'd hit them up on Instagram, and then one day I just walked in, and the boss was just like, "Dude, you're here all the time. Like, I know you know what you're doing with beer. Do you want a job?" And I was like, "Dude."
Okay, the
Hell
rest
yeah.
of the
Get
rest
me
of the
in.
AMA depends on your answer to this question. Are you the jerk that buys the whole case when it comes in?
The boss man wouldn't let me do that. If he did, I probably would be.
We'd get like rare beers in, and we'd get like 20 of them at my local liquor store, and some mothers would walk in and buy the whole shelf, and it drove me absolutely crazy, man. Spread the love.
They were smart about that. They was just, if it was a rare beer, just limit one per person.
That makes a lot of sense. All right, I guess you could also put out just like a few on the shelf or something like that. I did not expect that I would talk this much about beer when I put on the headset tonight. I assure you. I'm not complaining. It's a surprise.
I mean, a follow-up answer to how long will I play Smash competitively? I've said this before in a couple interviews. The only reason I could ever see myself not playing Smash competitively is because I am actually dying to work at a brewery. That's pretty much what I want to do as a career. I want to main goal, become a headmaster or a head brewmaster at some point. I've kind of looked into the steps and what I would have to do, but I mean, I'm not looking forward to it too much because I know it's going to be a lot of work and it's going to take a lot of time. So while I'm working towards that, I just want to work at a brewery as a beer tender, hopefully, since I love, interacting with people, talking to people about beer, obviously. So serving people beer, talking about beer, I think would be so much fun. And, if I can work at a brewery that I specifically love in California, I would love to do that.
You can come get up smashed at Lucky's Brewery.
I mean, I'm hoping Mango just becomes like the most rich person in esports. And he opens his own brewery.
It's just like, come on over here.
Is Tafokins calling me on Skype? Tafokins, what are you doing?
Tell him he can wait. Tell him he can wait. And tell him why isn't he watching the show if he isn't watching the show?
I don't know.
Please,
Yeah.
give
Come on,
him crap
Daniel.
for that.
God bless.
We got very good. We esports. Got a couple questions here before we close up shop for the night. The penultimate question. You like that? Tearful Tyrant wants to know if you could go back in time to when you first started playing competitively. What one piece of advice would you give to your past self that would most improve your play?
Stop. Oh man, I don't know. There's like multiple things I would tell myself.
You only
Number
get
one-
one, and then the portal closes, so you have to make it
Just
quick.
one?
Yep, just one.
Just don't think that things are lame, because once 2015 comes, there's nothing that's considered lame anymore.
That's kind of a funny sort of I'll call it a trope in esports or any competitive game. I feel is the idea that I don't want to do that because it wins and it's lame. It's and it's such a funny habit that people fall into. And I find a lot of pros actually coming on this show and say, once I got over that, once I figured out that Fox wins, so I should play Fox. It really changed things for me.
Mind blown.
Yeah.
Yeah, 20xx is real, folks. We got one more question. Sadly, before we have to go our separate ways. Golash wants to know, is the Batman going to take Genesis 3?
Dude, the Batman's never seen for his good deeds. So until there's a way for a tournament to not be broadcast and just no one sees anything on it, that won't happen.
You'll run and we'll hunt you because we have to, or whatever the stupid quote is.
So one day when there's no stream, there's no live stream, there's no challenge link, Batman's just going to come and destroy everyone, and no one's going to know who it was. It's just going to be some mysterious Dark Knight.
maybe
Hey,
we just need Gary Oldman to show up at one of the tournaments.
Don't mess with Batman at Mayhem.
Fair point.
It will end up like an Allstate commercial. Like,
I love those commercials. Lucky, we're about to close up shop for the night, but you've got the floor. Any shout outs, any well wishes, anything else you'd like to say before we bid adieu?
EG, please come talk to me. I love you guys. But seriously, shout outs to Stone Brewing out of San Diego. I've been talking to them for a while now, and they've actually been nice enough to hook me up with some merchandise, and I've been repping them at most tournaments that I go to.
Nice.
Wearing,
Awesome.
t-shirts, hats, and stuff. So if you guys want to get into some craft beer, some good beer that I endorse and fully love.
Nice.
I even have one of their beers tattooed on my forearm.
Nice.
Go out and buy some Stone Brewing stuff. It's fantastic. Other than that, long live Super Smash Brothers, man.
make sure to bring beer as a signing bonus, AJ.
I'm sure he's listen. Lucky tells me to go out and buy some beer. You don't have to twist my arm, man. I assure you.
If you're 21, of course, obviously.
I'm if you couldn't tell, I'm only 21. Only 21.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, get the hell out of here. Ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for us tonight. I want to give a very, very special thank you to Joey Aldama for coming on the show. Lucky. Let's have you on the show again sometime, man. It was a lot of fun. It was a whole lot of fun.
Man, I'm free whenever, so just let me know.
Sounds great. If you enjoyed the show, if you liked what we do here, if you like what we do here any other night, hit that follow button. It's somewhere below the frame. I can never find it. Also, check us out on Twitter @.esports, also on Facebook, daily.esports. We're also on YouTube, just like everybody else, daily.esports. I believe it's youtube.com/daily.esports. If I messed up, my technical director will surely correct me. That's going to do it for us tonight. I have been Ian Double John Barker. This has been Jacob Braille Wolf. And from the Smash Brothers AMA, we'll see you next time.